It's going to be as perfect as it's going to be because this is Mothers of Multifamily. Welcome again, everyone, to Mothers of Multifamily on the Multifamily Foundation podcast. I am so excited for today's episode because I have the wonderful, the fabulous Michelle Oppelt. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So Michelle is the co-founder of the Multifamily Women's Mastermind group, and that's how I met her. She is also a seasoned entrepreneur with over 12 years of experience founding and managing multiple profitable companies. That's a key word, profitable companies, including her first company formed in 2007, which has been featured on CNBC. With a background in bioscience, she understands the importance of using data and metrics in order to properly analyze investment opportunities. Combined with her knowledge and experience of creating and implementing successful business plans, Michelle has partnered with Apartment Buys LLC in broker relations market analysis to find strategic value-add investment opportunities within the multifamily space. Whoa, I am so excited. There's so much there I want to ask you about, but this is all about one question. One question always. How do you do it? I didn't even talk about your family in your bio. How are you a mom? And how do you do everything that you said in this bio? How do you do it?
Yeah, and I actually have 4 kids.
Oh,
so,
boom.
Yeah.
You got one on me.
Most people, I guess that's a lot these days, as you say 4, like, whoa, how do you do anything? Right? Yeah, I have my oldest son is 14 and my youngest is 1. So we are all over the spectrum there with the age groups. How do you do it? You know, my biggest thing that I have to remind myself daily, and I guess advice I would give to other moms is it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to even be close to perfect. And if you can just be okay with that and let your kids know that, like, hey, we're kind of a hot mess today, but we're just gonna keep going. Progress over perfection, right? Every single day of my life.
I love it.
Yeah.
Progress over perfection. Keep on with that thought. Like how do you manage day in and day out? Because I know you also run a daycare. So oh my goodness, like that. I mean, you have your 4 kids plus you run a daycare. How do you manage that?
Yeah, and the daycare was kind of hobby is the wrong word probably, but we had, so I grew that first business, which my first company does STEM programs for children. So we get contracted by the schools to run their STEM programs. So children has just been, you know, a part of my life since I was 12 and started babysitting. I just love kids, and I love education with kids. So anyway, I grew that company to the point where I could step away and just kind of run it from my laptop. I wasn't a part of the day-to-day operations anymore. I actually still own that today. So we traveled for a couple of years. We took this big trip. I only had 3 kids at the time, but we went to 49 of the 50 states. We have just Alaska left to go. Took this crazy giant road trip. And then the kids were ready to settle down. So when we settled down and they're in school, it was kind of like, well, what do I do with my day now? So I was like, oh, I love kids. I'll run a daycare. So I did that. And now that I'm getting into real estate, unfortunately, there's just not going to be a way for me to keep on doing both anymore. So this is my last school year of running the daycare. I've had the kids since they were 6 weeks old, most of them up until now they're getting ready to go to preschool. So now, yeah, my focus is 100% on real estate investing and multifamily moving into 2020, which is very exciting. And I probably didn't even answer your question.
No, that's fine. You answered all the questions. So I'm going to key in onto one word, and this is a word I love. It's the word focus. So you are focused in on real estate. How are you managing everything that you're doing in real estate with your family? Like, imagine I'm a new mom, and your youngest is 1 year old. So imagine I'm a new mom. I'm also getting into real estate. What kind of guidance would you give me as I start my journey?
Right. So yeah, I guess it would just go back to, again, that phrase of progress over perfection. You're going to hesitate and you're going to think, like, I remember in the beginning, I was thinking, like, how am I going to call brokers? How is that even possible? You know, my house is never quiet. Just, they're going to think I'm, you know, crazy and it's a zoo over here. And just, how am I going to make this work? And, you know, one day you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. And I remember the first broker, one of the first brokers I talked to, I kept muting myself when there would be some background noise, and I think they could tell. And he goes, listen, I've got 4 kids too. Like, can we just keep it real? And he was totally cool with it. And I was like, he said to me, he goes, you know, a lot of us are dads too. It's not just the moms. Like, we get it also. And I was like, oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
And I totally let that go. I was like, you know what? If there's some kid noise, you know, you say, excuse me for it, and you can acknowledge it. But it is what it is. That they don't think any less of you. Actually, I found that people think more highly of you when they realize that you're juggling that and that you're able to just keep moving forward, even with the kid craziness.
See, key thoughts right there is to be honest and be real, because the more honest and more real you are, the more people respect you. That's fantastic. So tell me about why you created Multifamily Women's Mastermind.
Yes, we're so proud of this group, really, and thankful for it. It's been everything we've hoped it would be so far. We just formed it a couple months ago.
The growth has been spectacular. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I saw this pop up on my radar, and it was just like, oh yeah, that's where I have to be.
I love it. And we've heard that from a good bit of people, and that makes us so happy. So Candace Pilgrim, Chat Sarmiento, Steinwald, and I met Candace through the very first multifamily mastermind group that I went to. It was being held in Birmingham, and she's from Birmingham. I'm out in West Tennessee. So I had driven down for this mastermind and just happened to sit next to Candace, and we kind of hit it off right away, and remained in touch. And then she knew Chat, and so I can't remember exactly what it was that made us start it. But one night I was just talking to Candace about how, like, you know, there's a ton of groups out there, a ton of multifamily groups, and they're great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But I didn't feel that culture we were trying to, you know, where I can just be breastfeeding a kid if I need to in a video, you know, or we've chatted about that before. Or kids running around, or it's great, or you didn't do your hair and makeup, and you just want to be more vulnerable or share things in a different space, if that makes sense. And we wanted a place where we could, our 3 words are empowerment. I'm going to get these wrong just because I'm on the spot. Collaboration, empowerment, and encouragement. I think those.
Nice.
So I just was telling Candace, like, I see a lot of women's investing groups, but not specifically for multifamily. And we wanted something a little higher level, not like the beginner group where it's all the really basic information. We wanted it to be a little bit higher level, where everybody in the group is doing deals and is asking a little bit higher level questions. We really wanted it to be a mastermind, you know, not a beginner's class, but more of a mastermind. So I was just chatting with her about how I couldn't find anything. And she goes, I was looking for the same thing. And we just kind of had that aha moment of, well, why don't we just start one?
Boom.
And she knew Chat had been talking about the same thing. So we got on a Zoom call, and all of these ideas started flooding out, and we came up with a name, we came up with a logo, everything that night. I mean, it was just like one thing after another. And we're like, okay, this feels like it was meant to be.
And it was. I mean, when lightning strikes, I mean, it came at, like, I feel it came at this pivotal point, because I knew, and I didn't know you until you opened up this mastermind. But there were so many women in this space that were having that same discussion before you put together this mastermind. We were all having the same discussion, but none of us thought of it the way you did. So thank you so much for putting this together. It's been phenomenal. It's been like my kind of go-to place if I have something to say, like, in this industry just for women. It's been fantastic. So thank you for that.
appreciate that so much. Can't take all the credit, but
Well, I do have chat coming on.
oh,
So
great.
that's gonna be very, 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 very exciting. So before I let you go, do you have any other words of wisdom for mothers out there who are in this, who are starting to get in this, or even mothers who have been doing this, and how they can keep on going? Any sort of words of wisdom for them?
It's gonna sound cliche. My teenager gets on me about this all the time, and I'm like, it's mindset. It's all mindset. But you know what? People say that all the time because it is so true. It is 100% accurate. And I think the limiting beliefs that you can have, there's so many more that you can have as a woman, because you're like, oh, well, the mom guilt is real. Well, if I do this, am I not giving enough to my children? And instead of thinking about it like they're going to see their mom being a rock star, that's awesome. They're going to learn from that. They're going to be inspired by me. You really just have to be careful with your perspective, because a lot of people will say to me like, how do you do it? That's not even possible. Like, you're a superwoman. And I just think, I just believe it's possible. And so I do it, because it is possible. I mean, you have to make some sacrifices, but my kids, I'm here, I work from home. So I'm here every day when they go on the bus. I'm home every day when they get off. My 1-year-old's been with me, since she was born. It's possible to have that balance. You can be a mom and a great mom, and you can still go for your career. There's definitely, if you believe that and you don't second guess it, you'll be able to figure out a way to make it happen.
Okay. And I know I said that was the last question, but this is going to be the last question.
Okay.
How can people find you? How can people join this wonderful group? But more importantly, how can people talk to you?
So if Facebook is a good one for social media. I'm not too active on other platforms. I need to get better about that. Facebook, Michelle Oppelt. On Facebook, also our women's group is the Multifamily Women's Mastermind. So you can apply there. Just make sure you answer the questions. So we know that you're serious about getting in the group, and we definitely would love to have active women in that group. And then, just send me a message anytime. You can email me, michelle@apartmentbuys.com. Any one of those is good.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on. I'm so grateful. That was so much amazing information. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Everyone, this is Moms of Multifamily at the Multifamily Foundation podcast. Thank you. So grateful for you for being on. Thank you. Bye now.